All of our minds work in different approaches, where a few humans see a pitcher half full, others will see a tumbler half empty. This put-up is dedicated to those whose first notion is whether or not the water inside the glass is poisonous. It is very normal for people to be met with a minor inconvenience or only a hypothetical inconvenience and then allow their minds to wander and begin a stay on what negative connotations should arise. This isn't uncommon, but that doesn't stop having any such mindset from being frustrating. As such, you may well be looking for ways to train your mind to not fear about such matters. If this is the case, then the under ought to be helpful because it will lighten some of the best steps you could take. Working towards mindfulness centers our recognition within and allows us to look at existence otherwise. It holds us in gift second recognition, as if whispering in our ears, stay right here in this moment and look more deeply into what you are seeing. You will see a lot more than simply what's at the floor. Think about mindfulness as an innate superpower. It's like having metacognition. This is while we are in natural state of mind. And it's on this nation that we can manual ourselves accurately, pointing ourselves in the proper path as opposed to one that can be hurtful or harmful to us. Sure, lives can be complicated for sure, but it takes getting out of our personal way and out from below all the drama we constantly create to prevent and examine the natural, easy beauty of something. This strange reveling isn't something which can only be experienced by using mystics. It's to be had for anyone to have, if we're open to it. When we are open to get hold of the magical and to step into the union with truth, we emerge as unburdened with the pressures of the external world. We will go inward and say, I'm equipped to realize you. I'm ready to take you into myself. I'm prepared to turn out to be you. In a sense, self-surrender is embodying ourselves to the mystical. And self-speak may be an ongoing attempt to word and change, and we are the only ones able to do that for ourselves. We need to begin to note if our self-talk is constantly judging ourselves. We want to begin to concentrate. Once in a while, it can cause for putting an alarm or choose times to listen. The bath has a good time because typically during that point, we are assured quiet and might focus our attention wherever we need without distractions. As we are listening, we can determine if we do not like what we are hearing. We might be repeating messages of judgment from an old Korean, a teacher, a family member, and that old story is a disempowering one. We will ask ourselves if we deeply in our hearts believe that message and give ourselves an internal hug as we receive that answer. If we do no longer agree with it, it is less complicated. We can start to inform ourselves the alternative every time we catch ourselves. If we do sort of trust that message, we need to dig deeper, ask that we to reveal compassion and forgiveness to ourselves. Asserting to ourselves that we are usually evolving and we try that through the self-reflection and increase. Self-judgment will not get us to an empowered state, however speaking kindly, compassionately, and with light ourselves can and will get us to the place of self we all deserve. These are a few clean ways to begin the change from self-judgment to self-realization. Recall we need to be light with ourselves in this procedure. Some of those habits were there for years, if no longer decades. The good news is it will not take a fraction of that time to reverse them. It will take being loving in the system. Knowing we are doing not only ourselves, however everyone, as a massive career by taking these steps. While we sense higher about ourselves, we start to entice relationships that replicate that. Self-consciousness holds endless and priceless presents that we are all so deeply worth of. Our soul knows it, and it's time all of us start to embody how special we actually are. Life is a journey to be discovered from. It consists of searching at past, however, no longer lying down and wallowing within the beyond. If you've discovered from a situation, you may allow yourself to method those feelings and flow on. Not anything is received by way of repeating the equal poor disempowering messages over and over once more. It is probably an extended phrase, but it's a few simple sentences you may say to yourself to start to forgive the past and connect with your soul. That is about your soul understanding. You are so much more than your thoughts, and you're connecting to that unconditional love to move past the strength of the stories from the beyond to asking a new and a greater aligned destiny. In forgiving yourself, you may move past the judgment of the past and into the existing that is wherein all of your power is, that you need you up for a much more inspiring future, one of self-recognition. The majority take vicinity inside the near future, and as such, you could regularly discover yourself seeking the time tour in order to research more about these worst-case situations. Of course, it is totally everyday for you to fear about some activities within the destiny. However, you want to try to remind yourself that in which being prepared is one element. Getting too a long way ahead of yourself is likewise never a healthy aspect. Try to be conscious on what's occurring now and what you can do to have a superb impact in your present, as opposed to stressful about the destiny. You may regularly locate that if you play out your worst case scenario, then you will realize things usually aren't as horrific as they seem. In fact, you may nicely start to recognize the possibility inside the worst case scenario. For instance, if you are worried about checks developing, then, in case you are to fail them, what does this mean? Could you pass into another area of research? Might you try to analyze more about yourself? In case you dig deep, you may discover the worst case scenario isn't that bad.